Sorry, sorry about that. Uh, in terms of the renovation, we're still waiting to see what's going to happen. The arts building is what I was starting to talk about just then. That the arts building was, they didn't want to do the second floor to avoid the elevator on the value engineering because they were concerned about the money to not put an elevator in. So they were giving us an auditorium that sat like 200 people, and they said that just doesn't work at all for us. We have to have something more significant in size. So we went through a number of iterations today, and they're going to be taking to structural engineering to see if what I had recommended is a possibility. On February 2nd, we're going to be participating in NAEP testing. That's the National Assessment of Educational Progress. So schools nationally get chosen at random for the NAEP test. For us, we were selected to do science in 8th grade. And so feds identify what a school might be testing. So we're going to be testing for science. And then they identify the students that they want to take the test, which I believe is about 50 of our 8th grade students. So they'll identify our 8th grade students, and then those will be the students that would take the test. Our STEAM coach, Dr. Pember, is facilitating this. She'll be sending out a letter toward the end of January if your child has been selected, if you have an 8th grade child and they've been selected to take the test. There is an opt-out option for that. So if you want to opt out, you just have to follow the whatever the guidelines are and the date she sets on it to opt out of that. But the NAEP testing is just for a select group of 8th grade students in science. It's the National Assessment of Educational Progress, and with measures nationally. We really don't have any individual school results that come out of that. It's really for the nation as a whole. The tests that count and are high stakes for us are the SBAC, the SBA test, which takes place in May in reading and math, and then also that's in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then the NGSS, Next Generation Science test, which will take place 8th grade students only, and that is in April. And then the students all do the physical fitness test as well, and that is part of our high stakes testing that gives the school its report card. The lottery is open for the 2024-25 school year. And all of you are here with me today, so that means you don't have to worry about participating in the lottery. Your child is already in. That's it. If you have a younger child and you're going to have a child in the school next year, so your current child is in and you have a younger child that is coming of age to be in the school, as long as your one child is in, you get what's called sibling preference. So you get put basically to the top of the list on the lottery if you have a child already in the school. If your child was already in the school or exited, or like is in 8th grade this year, it's going to be 9th grade next year and exiting with us, you don't get the sibling preference for that. So you have to be current 6th and 7th grade students with a younger sibling that might be rising would be eligible. We're looking at this year at numbers for about 250 for 8th grade, 200 for 7th grade, and 200 for 6th grade. So we're not going to go to 250 in the 6th and the 7th grade next year. We will have significant seats available in 7th grade for next year. So if you have a child that will be going into 7th grade, or families that have children that want to go into 7th grade and be interested in coming to Chase, please share that information. I know we have some of our surrounding towns that have intermediate schools in 5 and 6, and so children change schools for 7th grade, and if they are interested in coming to Chase as a natural transition point, we'd highly encourage that as well. We only have about 130 students in our 6th grade right now. We were having a numbers issue. State regs require that the school cannot have a population of students from any one town more than 55% of the school population. So with the transition from Merritt into Waterbury, our numbers got a little misskewed. So we had overrepresentation in Waterbury this past year. So a lot of those 8th grade kids are going to be leaving us next year, which is going to increase the opportunity for more Waterbury students to come next year. So we'll have an easier time filling the seats overall. We didn't completely fill 6th grade last year because we couldn't take, because of our numbers, to make sure our numbers were balanced, but we will have a much more flexibility next year to be taking more students at the school, and we're looking forward to that. So lottery's open. It's from now, basically, until the end of February. In my Parent Square message I sent out earlier in the week, I did include some posters and flyers. We'd really appreciate any distribution we can get on that to let people know about it. We want people to be aware. We love the fact that students have choice. I think many of you are in the same boat as we are, because your children are coming to our school and you made a choice for them. So we just want our message to be spread far and wide as possible. So I have already sent to all principals, all elementary principals in the immediate area. Well, not the immediate area, a pretty good distance from Torrington to New Haven, from Danbury to New Britain. We've hit almost every elementary school in that range. So I've reached out to the principals, sending them information, hard copies of the flyers and digitals. If you do have children in a school that's not Chase right now, but you're in one of our, you have an elementary child in, a district school, please be on the lookout for that too. So I've asked for distribution of that through all 5th grade students. So if you know it's available, or you have a principal that you might have an ear of at another school, I'd kindly request that you ask them, hey, have you distributed that Aces at Chase flyer to all the families? We'd really appreciate it if you did that, because the more people that know, I think, the better it is for the school in general. All right, so that's what's on my list. Vicki, is there anything else that you want to share?
The only thing that I would add is that if you are doing sibling preference, you just need to make a note of that. There's a spot for that on the application. If you don't, it doesn't count.
Okay. And the other thing we forgot to mention, or I forgot to mention, is with the lottery next, what is it, next Thursday, the 11th? Is the 11th?
Yep, is open house.
Open house. So we're having open house. The campus will be open to anyone who would like to come check out our school. We'll do it similar to last year, kind of Disneyland style, where you come into the room, you go in, you come in one door, you go out the other door, you go through the wandering, the next group comes in. We'll keep pushing them through so people can check out our school and get a sense of what it's like to be here. And we'll figure out, Vicki and I have to talk, but we will figure out ways, if people are unable to make it, how we can get them that information as well. So we want to make sure we share that information as well with families that might be interested in their children attending Chase. Okay.
I just wanted to say that Naugatuck Public Schools published it in their district newsletter yesterday, the flyer, and it'll probably run until after open house.
Great. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate it. It's good to have that direct link to the top line there. Okay. Do other people have questions or things they want to ask about? Please feel free to just unmute yourself. It's not a huge group today, so please feel free to unmute yourself and just ask your question.
Hi, I have a quick question. My son is in 6th grade right now. In regard to, I think that will be complete by the time he gets, you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to keep him there.
Yeah. And I have, Vicki will tell you, I kind of stump every chance I get for that. So the theoretically, and it's always like a question, what's going to happen? Theoretically, the construction is going to be completed in 26, at the end of the year 26. And so that would be the same year those children will be in 8th grade. So the high school theoretically should be right after that, no matter what. I don't know why we have to wait for the construction. This is the argument I've been making with everybody. It's like, what does it matter if the construction is complete or not to start the high school? We have the space to do it.
Right.
And we're maintaining our numbers the way we want to maintain our numbers. So we have the classrooms, and I've actually, did a room space analysis and where all the classrooms could be if we had the 9th grade in even next year. And for us, we see the long-term benefits of starting as soon as possible. I think it's best for our families, as well as just the nature of where our numbers are in school right now. So theoretically, and I think I've learned my lesson, because I was told when I started, you're going to start the high school next year for us, and I said that, and then I'm a little bit more cautious with the things I say. So I mean, I would love to do it next year if feasible. I don't think that's a realistic goal to happen, but I think it is reasonable and realistic to start in the 26-27 school year, because the construction project will be done at that point. And I know the agency really wants to do it. We would be the only diploma granting school in the agency, which would be a pretty cool thing. Other questions?
I
Oh,
just
go
have
ahead.
one. I'm sorry. I just wanted to just mention something. I've talked to 2 people now who are planning on going to the open house, and they were just under the impression that Chase is just like a STEM school. They thought, well, my child isn't really into things like that. And I just wanted to mention that, because when I was going to bring my son down, I wasn't honestly sure until I went to the open house exactly what the curriculum was.
Sure.
So, just put that to you, just to let you know that there is talk like that people are kind of unsure what exactly the curriculum is. And I think the curriculum's absolutely wonderful. My son loves it, but I just wanted to mention that to you.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. So I think one of the things we do have a document that goes in the open house materials that describes our curriculum, and we've been working on our website more, so maybe we can get that up there as well in our admissions process area, so people can see what our curriculum looks like. Yes, we do STEM and STEAMy things at our school, and we have specific coursework around that, but we also do offer, it's with the STEAM, we do have a nice arts experience for kids, and kids do the humanities program as well, because that's part of having a well-rounded education. So kids get their ELA and their language arts and their social studies as well. So we do comprehensive type things, and we use that STEAM theme as a flavor to enhance the work we do. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay, so hearing none, I think the bell is about to ring and you can be dismissed for this evening. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I will do, what I'm going to do is actually, before I hang up, you can all hang up, but I'm just going to continue to talk. So the stuff I talked about at the beginning, the families that might be watching this on the recording can actually listen to. And it's just going to be a repeat for you. So please don't feel obligated to stay as I repeat myself. And thanks so much for joining us today. I always value, and I know it's best for kids too, when they have experiences where their teachers, their educators, and their families are all involved in their education. So I thank you so much for being a part of that process with us in the goals of making ACES at Chase just a wonderful place for kids to be. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay, whoops. Now, for those of you at home, I'm going to repeat the stuff I missed at the beginning, so we can talk about that. I just want to make sure all that information is there, because I missed starting the recording at the beginning of the slideshow. So my initial comments, I believe I had done renovation and beyond. So I'll just do the first set for you real quick. So we have an audio recording of it. Incorporation, we are in the process of working on our incorporation documents. We don't have, that was never done with the original school, and so we're going to incorporate. Keisha has offered to help us with that work. Our next meeting will be in person. It will be at the school, February 1st, and dinner, of course, will be part of that process. I also was discussing grades in the honor roll. Our grades for trimester 1 are clearly closed. You can view them in the Power School parent portal. And then we'll be working over the next week or two over on the honor roll. Our honor roll is awarded to students who have earned 3s and 4s across the board in everything in terms of their academic performance, and all of their behavioral grades or respect grades are either L's or C's, leaders, or consistent. The student has met that obligation, then they would make the honor roll, and you'll get the world famous Aces at Chase bumper sticker. We did do a spiritware run earlier in the year. Those have all been distributed to the students. The products came really nice. If you're interested in spiritware, we'll probably do something maybe in the spring, or we'll do it again next year. High school, I actually wound up talking about the high school in terms of the lottery, and someone had asked a question about that. But the high school is in a holding pattern right now in terms of we make some decisions with the how the renovation works with it. We are physically capable of doing that right now. So it's just a matter of some decision making in terms of what's going on. Okay. So I want to thank, that was really all I started with. And then I realized I hadn't started recording yet. So I did do the recording. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. If you've stayed now for the part 2 of the part of my comments, thank you for being an important member of our Aces at Chase community, because families are super important to the success of the school. So on behalf of the team, the academic team at Aces at Chase, thank you. Have a good evening.